All right. So somebody on the KVR forum in a comment asked me if I could clone the new Waves CLA Epic plugin. And of course I said yes, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into because the routing on this thing is kind of insane. So I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough. And I'm also going to talk about CLA Epic a little bit too. Just a quick overview. So basically, CLA Epic is a 4-channel delay plugin and a 4-channel reverb plugin, each channel having its own delay or its own reverb. And there are a few different routing options. So you can route any delay directly to any reverb, or you can route the delay directly to the output and bypass the reverbs. For each reverb, you can receive a dry signal and process that. You can receive a process signal from the delay, or you can receive them both. So there's quite a few routing options. If you just kind of want an idea of what it looks like in the background, it looks a little something like this. I basically just cloned everything. So here you have your 4 different sins for each. You have your 4 different types of delays. This 4th one isn't actually a delay. It's kind of a spatial effect, and to replicate it, so I use stereo generator because it sounded similar. So yeah, you have your 4 delays, quote unquote. This first one is a tape delay, and I actually read the manual here to kind of figure out what everything was and what was going on with the routing. And it says what they are, so I just kind of replicated it using that. So this first one is a tape delay. The second one is actually exactly the same as the first one, but they call it a throw delay. It's basically because you can use this little button down here to enable or disable the feedback loop, so that you could add like a more pronounced delay on a specific word, on a specific beat, or maybe a snare. For CLA and for my clone, in order to use this the correct way, you would have to use modulation within your DAW. I actually had it set up at one point to not need to use modulation. What I did was I added a step sequencer down here so that you could control the delay without having to use it in your DAW, which was awesome. But per typical, and if you look at any of my other devices, you'll notice they're always full. So I basically built the devices, and eventually I hit a point where I have to start deleting stuff, and there's a ton of stuff that I've deleted from this. So back to the delays. You have a slap delay here, which is also a tape delay, but it's set up with really low feedback, and there's some settings in the background that are set up to kind of force you into making this a slap delay, which is the same on CLA, but because of the feedback knob here, you can effectively make it another tape delay just like any of these two. So if you're not really looking for that slap echo delay, you can turn up the feedback knob and it'll give you more of that typical delay. These VSOs here, which are also here, they're here to emulate the speed or to match the speed that these playback rates on tape would equal in milliseconds. So they're just presets. So if you look down here at time, it changes based on the VSO, or you can set it individually without using one of these. So let's move over to the reverb section. The reverb section is fairly simple. You have plate, room, hall, and this and one, and basically this is just a special reverb. Over here they call it space, but it's more of a special effect reverb. And here you can choose between all of these different weird kind of special effect-y type reverbs. On each of them you can choose different rooms, which isn't available on the original one, or you can choose different plates for the plate. You can choose different rooms for the room one and different halls for the hall. there's a reverse on each one, which isn't on the original one, which I just kind of liked, so I threw it in there. And then there's this low and this high gain shelf, because on each of these they have this RT low and RT high, and they kind of hide exactly the EQ curve. They just say it's some sort of special EQ curve that they came up with, and instead of trying to make it perfect, what I did was I gave you these XY pads so that you could set individually in each reverb the EQ curve that you want. So this one's for the low, this one's for the high, and that just kind of gives you ultimate flexibility. And I feel like since this is, meld a crowd of people, I'm not gonna just say, oh, there's some special EQ curve on these, and no, I'll just give you the option. So that's that, in case you're wondering what that is. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of exactly what was going on here. Yeah, enough talking. Let's go ahead and do an audio demo. I'm going to play you back the dry vocal, and then I'm going to go ahead and twist some knobs, see what I can come up with. And then, yeah, that should basically be it. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this.
See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now. See the stars are my needs now. I'm getting alive. Don't stop and look around. Everything is perfect now.